Alright, so as a quick disclaimer before I start this video, I just want to let you guys know that I am not making this video to prove anything skill-wise. I'm strictly making this video for educational purposes and for the people who consistently ask me about this class and ask me to make a tutorial. I'm only making this video to help out people in need, and I feel like a lot of people can benefit from this. Thank you. Hope you guys enjoy. Yo, what's going on, everyone? Now, I know this video is a little late. People have asked me many times in the past to make an Shinobi tutorial, and I haven't done it yet, but I think now I finally decided to hop into PS and show you guys a little bit of how to play this class. So, this is going to be a pretty advanced Shinobi tutorial. I intend on it being decently long and being filled with a lot of tips, tricks, and things you need to know in order to play this class. Some things that I want to get out the way first though. You don't need to macro to play this class. You don't need to auto-click. Auto-clicking helps a lot, I ain't gonna lie, like auto-clicking helps a lot. I might show you guys later in the video, like I might turn on auto-clicker and just play with it. I'll show you guys the difference, but it does help a lot. But I just want to get out the way that you don't need to auto-click to play this class. I don't macro and I don't auto-click. People also ask me about that too, like do I macro in my comment sections, and I don't. And I don't auto-click either. You don't need to do any of those in order to play this class. Alright, so this video is going to be split up in 4 different sections. First, I'm going to talk about the combos, the main combos that you want to do for this class. I'm honestly not going to have that portion of the video be very long because I really don't want to focus on that too much, because that's not really the main aspect of Shinobi that you need to know in order to be successful with this class. Next section is going to be about class fundamentals. I'm obviously not going to spend a lot of time on that either, because it's going to be a short little section about, you know, how to play the class and, you know, what the class is about, what it excels in, things like that. For section 3, I'm going to talk about how to fight specific classes. So this is the section that I want to spend the most time on, because I feel like it's definitely the aspect that people struggle with the most. For example, I get a lot of comments or questions asking about like, oh, how do you fight Onis? Oh, I'm struggling against mages. How do you fight mages? Oh, when a D-Sage pulls up, what do I do against a D-Sage? You know, how do I fight this class? So I feel like this will be the section that I'm going to spend the most time on. And it's the most realistic as well, because if I'm actually explaining how to fight against each individual class, then it's going to be more beneficial and more useful than just me showing you what combos to do. Obviously, like, I mean, there's like a bunch of Shinobi tutorials on YouTube about how to combo properly and the combos that you should do. It's best to know how to use this class in game, how to effectively use this class in game. Because I promise you, if you're just going in with a macro and you expect to just whoop ass and K, I mean, you might get a couple kills, but it's more than just about macroing. Like, it's more complex than that. You're not gonna get by just macroing somebody to death all the time. You gotta know how to hit the macro, you know, you gotta have good game sense, good knowledge. And then the last section is also pretty short. It's going to be about my opinion on the best races for this class. So pretty much all the other sections are going to be short except the fighting specific classes, because I just want to focus on that the most, because I feel like that's what a lot of Shinobi tutorials don't go in detail about. Alright, I'm going to try and speedrun the combo section. We're going to start with the combos now. So we're going to start with grapple combos, and we're going to move into ground combos. For the first grapple combo, we're gonna do grapple, owl slash, rising cloud, shadow rush, cruel wind. Now, your inventory doesn't matter as much as you think it does. Like, I see people asking me like, oh, like, what's your inventory? What's your inventory? Whenever somebody asks me what my inventory is, I always tell them that you should do what's best for you, do what's easy for you to click. Like, whatever pattern you feel like is easy for you to click is what you should do. For me, that's 4, 3, 5, and then 1. But for a lot of people, that could be very different. But inventory really doesn't matter as much as you think. Like, you don't have to copy my inventory. You don't have to like look at the best Shinobis and copy their inventories if you don't want to. Do what's best for you, what's easiest for you. And you should do a lot of testing in PS to see what that is if you're not sure yet. Now, the combo I just said, owl slash, rising cloud, shadow rush, cruel wind. This is the basic Shinobi combo that every Shinobi basically does. There are a lot of other combos that you can do as far as grapple combos, but a lot of the advanced Shinobis just do this combo because it's basic and it's the most consistent. Like, you're gonna hit this one most of the time. And if your out slash is on cooldown, because it has quite a long cooldown compared to the other moves, then you could just do Rising, Shadow Rush, Cruel Wind. Here's the combo in action. Now that's without me auto-clicking. I might turn on an auto-clicker right now just to show you the difference, because it's low-key, like, it's low-key a lot faster if you use auto-clicker. Auto-clicking definitely does make this class a lot easier to play, but I just don't like doing it. I don't know if you're able to see it, but it definitely made the combo a lot faster using an auto-clicker, and it definitely made that shit easier too. You're not gonna mess up most of the time if you use an auto-clicker. You probably won't mess up at all, honestly. I mess up a decent amount of times because I don't use an auto-clicker, but you know, is what it is. So as far as how to hit the actual grapple combo, how to effectively hit it, there's not really much I can say to help you besides, you know, you gotta wait till you get close to your opponent. If you want to like practice with just using Rising Cloud first, like that's the only move you used, and you can do that. You can like grapple them and then Rising Cloud them and see like what the timing is, and then you can like try and stack that with out slash Rising, so then go like, and then, you know, just keep putting all of them together, you know, start with the basics basically, and then eventually you'll get a feel for when exactly you should start the combo, because that's another thing that people ask me as well, like when exactly do you do the combo when in midair. It's kind of hard to explain it, besides you just have to be near them. You're mainly going to get it through practice and trial and tribulation. Alright, so another combo that I don't really use like at all is Owl slash Rising Cloud, Shadow Rush, Owl slash Cruel Wind, Rising Cloud, Shadow Rush, Cruel Wind. The reason why I don't use this combo is because I feel like there's a delay between Owl slash and Cruel Wind, and that leads to your combo being perfect blocked a lot more. So generally I just don't use this, and it's a little bit harder to time, a little bit harder to hit, but you can hit it. So there's a slight delay. You'll notice it if you try it or if somebody perfect blocks it. And personally, I just don't like using that combo, but if you want to try using that, you can. Or you can just do Cruel Wind, Rising Cloud, Shadow Rush, Cruel Wind to get rid of that, you know, delay between Owl Slash and Cruel Wind. But if you're gonna do that, I recommend doing that as like a backup after doing the Owl Slash, Rising Cloud, Shadow Rush, Cruel Wind combo, the first one. I recommend doing the first one for like your basic combo, and then if Owl Slash is on cooldown, then you could do the double Cruel Wind. Like Cruel Wind, Rising, Shadow Rush, Cruel Wind. But honestly, I don't really do it. I honestly just do, if my Owl Slash is on cooldown, I just do Rising, Shadow Rush, Cruel Wind. Alright, now we're gonna move into some ground combos. Ground combos are very important because you're not gonna be able to get grapple combos on people all the time. And there's a lot of classes that want to get very close to you. So it could also be like a defense mechanism that you can use in order to, you know, get a free combo on them. And get a free Autumn Rain on them. I haven't used Autumn Rain in any of the combos yet, but I'll explain how to use it in a second. I just want to get through all of the basic combos first, and then we're gonna get into like the more advanced ones with using Autumn Rain and, you know, using Shadow Rush on the ground and things like that. Alright, so as far as the ground combo goes, the basic one is Cruel Wind, Rising Cloud, Shadow Rush. What you do is you basically Cruel Wind and jump at the same time. I recommend doing that, like Cruel Wind jumping at the same time, or doing Cruel Wind slightly first, like a millisecond first, and then jumping. The reason why I recommend that is because that way it's gonna break the block. Because the way Cruel Wind works is that if you're in the air already, it doesn't break block, but if you're on the ground, it does break block. So what I recommend is, if, you know, it's like say your opponent's blocking or something. Am I able to like, oh, let me see if I can. I can't keep it blocking, it's unfortunate. But you can just, you can block break them when they're on the ground. So this is the combo. Okay, what the fuck was that? Hold on, I'm so sorry. Alright, I don't know why I did that, let's go. Actually, that's the wrong combo. That's supposed to be the more advanced combo. I want to show you the basic combo first. Okay, that's it right there. So basically, the basic one is Cruel Wind, and then the Rising brings you up, and then you Shadow Rush, and the Shadow Rush brings you back down. Kind of like a normal Shadow Rush. It brings you down. The one I showed you a second ago, that I did accidentally, was one that's a little bit more advanced, and it's a little bit harder to do. I honestly recommend doing that one if you're able to get it down, but it's not easy to get down. The hardest part about it is clicking. If you auto click, you could probably get it like almost every single time, as long as you switch between Cruel Wind, Rising, and Shadow Rush really fast. But let me show you guys that one again, the more advanced one. The more advanced one involves, it's the same combo except you can add Cruel Wind at the end, because it keeps you up in the air when you're doing the combo. So considering that it keeps you up in the air, you're able to do another Cruel Wind on top of that. So it's Cruel Wind, Rising, Shadow Rush, Cruel Wind. The main thing you need to know if you want to do this combo, because it's kind of hard to do, you have to switch between Cruel Wind, Rising, and Shadow Rush really fast. And when you do it, you also have to click really fast, and you also have to time the jump perfectly. Like you have to do Cruel Wind either before you jump or at the same time as you jump in. You could do it really easily with an auto clicker on, like I'll show you right now. Like, look at that. That shit was so fast that I didn't even bring them up in the air. Like if you do an auto clicker, you do it almost every time. You could probably set the clicks down on your auto clicker just to make it a little bit more consistent, because he's not even going up in the air with that, because that's how fast this shit is. But you could also do it without an auto clicker. I have a very shitty mouse. I only get like 5 to 6 CPS on this, and I'm still able to do it sometimes. I'm not very consistent with it, low key. Okay, there we go. I got it right there. I'm not very consistent with it. There's a lot of people who are a lot more consistent with it than me. Like my friend Kenan, for example. He actually practiced with that combo a lot and got very good at doing it. I'm not that good at doing it yet, but yeah, that's the more advanced ground combo. It's a very good combo. It's just, it's harder to do, and it's less consistent in bad ping. Like even in a like, for example, I'm in the East, in a West server, like a Cali server, it's gonna be very hard to do. And then obviously in the EU server, it's gonna be extremely hard to do, like if impossible. But there is a certain timing to it that you can do it almost every single time. I just haven't figured out that timing yet. Me and Ken are probably gonna do some more experimenting to see what that timing is, but there's a certain timing that you have to do for lesser ping servers. But if you're in your own ping, then you could just do it normally and do it instantly. Alright, so the last ground combo I'm going to show you is basically an easier version of the advanced one I just showed you. You're doing Cruel Wind, Rising Cloud, Cruel Wind, Shadow Rush, and basically that second Cruel Wind before the Shadow Rush is kind of like, is gonna like confirm that you stay in the air with it, but you're not gonna get as many hits as if you were to do the advanced one I just showed you a second ago. The reason why I recommend this sometimes is because 1, it looks cooler, and 2, it keeps you up in the air with it. And it's a lot easier to do than the other one. If you're not able to get the other one down, then you can do this one as like a default, because it keeps you up in the air. But the timing is a little bit different on it, because there's a delay after Rising into the second Cruel Wind. There's a delay between that, and then once you do the second Cruel Wind, you're not supposed to Shadow Rush instantly. Like, it sounds weird, but I know you're not supposed to Shadow Rush instantly after doing it if you want to stay in the air. Like here, I'll show you. Okay, I don't know. So right there, I did the combo, but it didn't keep me up in the air because I didn't wait a little bit. So I did Cruel Wind and Rising Cloud, Cruel Wind, and I did Shadow Rush instantly after I clicked with Cruel Wind, and like the Cruel Wind animation came out. But what you're supposed to do is wait like, not a second is too long. Wait like, I think even half a second is too long. Just wait until the Cruel Wind animation comes out just a little bit. Like, you'll get the timing if you practice it, and then you Shadow Rush right after that. So you could slow that down if you want to, or watch it over to see the timing that I did there. But yeah, that's that combo. It does less damage than the advanced one that I showed you earlier. If you can get that one down, then definitely use that one. But say you're in a bad ping server, then you might want to go with that one. Or if you're just not able to get the advanced one down, then you can just go with that one. So now we're gonna get into the combo extenders because it's more important than just being able to hit a ground combo or hit a grapple combo. One of the main aspects of Shinobi is being able to pressure your opponent and continuously hit them and hit them and hit them and hit them and not let them breathe. Because the problem is when you let your opponent breathe, then they could throw attacks back at you. And you only have like, what? I have 217 HP. In K, that's not too much. In Gaia, yeah, that's quite a bit. But in K, that's not too much. And you're gonna get one combo by a lot of things with that little HP. So you're gonna wanna basically pressure your opponent, not give them many chances to fight back. That's how you win a fight as a Shinobi. And also the clips just look good. Like if you're able to pressure your opponent constantly, it just looks fun and feels fun to do, you know? So for these combos, I'm not gonna do any of the little techie combos. I'm gonna do my normal combos. Like the out/ rising shadow rush crew win. I'm gonna do the normal basic combo and then I'm gonna do extensions off that to show you guys what you can do. So for this one, I'm gonna do the basic combo and then I'm gonna drop down. I'm gonna roll, which by the way, you should definitely have roll if you're on Uber Shinobi, just like Gaia Shinobi. I'm gonna roll, I'm gonna autumn rain, and then I'm gonna shadow rush. Okay, I low-key did it a little bit weird. I canceled out the shadow rush animation, but you can see what I'm trying to do there. I'll do it again just to like show you guys. So this combo, I don't do this combo anymore because there's a better one that I use. But if you're a beginner and you're trying to like, you know, get the feel of it, get the feel of being able to pressure somebody, then you can go with that combo. Another thing you can also do is, instead of doing autumn rain first, you can do shadow rush first. I honestly would prefer that because that allows you to keep the pressure applied on them. I'll show you exactly how. You see that? So what I did was I shadow rushed my opponent and then I did the second part of the shadow rush. And then after that, I autumn rain and dashed at him. So now that I autumn rain and I dashed at him, now he's stunned from the autumn rain and now I'm close to my opponent, which means I can do another attack. Because one thing about Shinobi is we have low cooldowns, like our cooldowns are very low. So now that I'm close to him, I could do another attack. Now, how can I make that more advanced? You could throw triple dagger throw in there. So before I only shadow rushed and then I did an autumn rain, before you do the shadow rush, you can do a triple dagger throw. What I like to do is I like to do triple dagger throw as I'm falling in the sky. So like right before I hit the ground. So before I even touch the ground, I click with triple dagger throw and then I roll. And then that should hit my opponent. And then I shadow rush right after that. And I do that into an autumn rain. So I'll show you. Here, let me move him over just a little bit. Okay. Just like that. And that combo puts a lot of pressure on them because, I mean, there's not really much you can do there. They're stunned from the triple dagger throw, they're stunned from the shadow rush, and they're stunned from the autumn rain. By the way, if you auto click with shadow rush, it brings you down way faster. I recommend it low key. I just don't do it because I don't like auto clicking. But if you auto click with shadow rush, then it stuns them a lot easier. When you do this part, it stuns them a lot easier if you auto click with it. All right, now I'm gonna show you guys what to do after you do that. So if you want to be less advanced, I guess. I mean, this combo is already starting to get into advanced territory. But if you want to be a little bit less advanced, after the autumn rain, you could do a ground combo. But the only thing about that is that since you haven't wasted enough time, not all your cooldowns are back yet, so there's gonna be a little bit delay. And the combo might feel a little weird. So what I do recommend is, if you can, add a lethality. Lethality has a long cooldown, but it's like I recommend it if you can get this, if you can get it on somebody like this. Here, I'll show you. Okay, so low-key freestyle there a little bit. I did the for the ground combo, I did a ground combo at the end there. For the ground combo, I didn't do the advanced one. I did the one that I showed you after that. the Cruel Wind, Rising Cloud, Cruel Wind, Shadow Rush combo. But you can see what I did there. If not, well, I'm gonna explain it to you. Basically, after I did the, I did the combo, the grapple combo, and I did the triple dagger throw, the Shadow Rush into an Autumn Rain. What I did was, as I was dashing at him with the Autumn Rain, I equipped lethality, and I started lethality, using lethality. Ideally, you want to use it before you get to the opponent. You can Autumn Rain and then dash and then use lethality, but I recommend using lethality before you get to the opponent, so that by the time you're at them, it already hits them and you can already hit them with a ground combo, because it's just more stun. Like if you wait for the lethality, if you wait till you get to the opponent before you use lethality, then there's going to be less stun and less pressure. If you use lethality before you get to them, like as you're dashing and Autumn Raining, if you use lethality right in that instance, then you already got the animation started, so that once you touch them, it's just going to hit them with lethality, and then they're instantly stunned for another ground combo right after that. So I'll show you one more time. Okay, I kind of messed up there. I didn't jump at the end, but you see the vision, right? I hope you do, because I'm not trying to do it again. I want to move on. Like I said before, guys, I'm not the best Uber Shinobi, nor I think I'm the best Uber Shinobi, nor do I think I'm top 10, top 5. Like, bro, I'm not even, like, I don't even care that much about that. Like, I'm not trying to be a top Shinobi. I'm making this video strictly for educational purposes, and because I got a lot of requests for this video, and I feel like a lot of people could benefit from the knowledge that I have playing this class. Like, trust me, I don't think I'm the best Uber Shinobi or like a top tier one or anything like that. Alright, now we're gonna have a brief discussion about the class fundamentals. I feel like this is important because you want to understand how you want to play the class. So there's a couple points that I want to go over as far as fundamentals. One is the mobility of Shinobi. So this class obviously is very, very mobile, and for that reason, people like to say it's very busted, it's very OP. And I'm willing to grant that. You know, Shinobi is very mobile, so you can say that it's very OP as far as being able to run out of situations and things like that. But if we talk about strictly PvP, I'd say it's one of the worst Ubers in the game, and I'll explain that later in the video when I go over the specific classes. I genuinely think this is one of the worst Ubers in the game as far as PvP. But it's definitely the most fun. It's definitely the most fun by far, but I think it's one of the worst as far as PvP. Everything included, it's not one of the worst, because there's a few things that this class excels at that makes it so that it can't possibly be the worst class. But strictly PvP sense, like if you're doing a fight to the death with somebody, I'd say this class is below a lot of the classes. It's one of the worst, if not the worst. There might be some ones that are worse than it actually, but it's definitely one of the worst. But yeah, like I was saying before, this class has very good mobility and overall running. What you want to do is you want to be as mobile as possible when you're fighting your opponents. Reason being, you don't have a lot of HP, so you save yourself. You also don't have you don't have any ragdoll moves actually, which is why I recommend getting Spellblade Gelly. Because it just bugged right there, but I recommend getting Spellblade Gelly because you're able to get a ragdoll move from that. But I understand that people like using Talorn because it's a block breaker and it's useful for grappling people. But yeah, I prefer Spellblade Gelly. Well, honestly, Talorn is not even really a block breaker. Like, it pierces their block, but it doesn't like actually break the block if they still hold F the entire time. But you can combine that with the Shadow Rush or anything else to make it like basically true. So I do understand that, and I do get that. But I just prefer Spellblade Gelly because having that ragdoll move after having absolutely zero ragdoll moves it's essential, and it's saved a lot of my friends. I've got a lot of kills with it. I just think it's important, especially in K. With a bunch of classes that have ragdoll moves like D-Rider. Like, look at this shit, bro. Like, so many ragdoll moves on D-Rider. But yeah, basically when you're fighting your opponents, you want to be as mobile as possible so that you don't get hit a lot of the time, because you don't have that many combo escapers. You have Shadow Rush, but that's not always going to get you out of a lot of combos. And because you don't have any like iframe moves or any ragdoll moves, like I said earlier, you're not gonna be able to get out of too many combos. So what you want to do is you want to stay mobile so that you don't get hit. You know, you want to use Shadow Rush to your advantage. You want to use Autumn Rain sometimes to double jump while in the air. Maybe sometimes it depends on the situation. Essentially, just stay mobile for the entire fight if you want to excel. Simply because you don't have that much health, and it's important that you conserve the little HP that you do have. The next point that I'm gonna go over is being aggressive. I kind of touched on this earlier with the combos. You want to be aggressive. You don't want to switch. You don't want your opponent to switch the aggression onto you. For some classes, this is different. Some classes you're probably gonna have to be a little bit less aggressive with, or you might have to be like passive at first until you get an advantage in the fight, and then you turn aggressive. I'll talk about that more when I talk about specific classes, but overall, you want to be aggressive. If you have a rising cloud hit on somebody, like for example, like even if it's just a random, like say you didn't hit a full combo and you're not able to do like a combo extension or anything like that. Say you just got a lucky rising off somebody and that's all you have. Even having that alone is very good, because for a lot of classes that chip damage is going to be good, because now you have Autumn Rain. Autumn Rain is one of those skills where you could combo start easily with it. It could also save you from combos too. Like if you're getting ragdolled comboed and then you get up for like maybe a split second before getting ragdolled again, you can throw out the Autumn Rain. But essentially, having that Autumn Rain can be very useful for... I lost my train of thought for a second. But it could be very useful for keeping the aggression up on any class that you're fighting. And like it'll do chip damage over time, because some classes you're not going to be able to hit full grapple combos on, and I'll talk about that more later on. But being able to hit that rising, being able to have an Autumn Rain that you can use and save, like I recommend saving it. Like if you hit that rising, don't use the Autumn Rain immediately. Save it for a good opportunity to use it. Like if you think like they're about to dash at you, then you can like, oh, turn around, Autumn Rain lethality. So like you want to save it for a good moment, or you can like Autumn Rain into a ground combo. So like, oh, you think they're about to dash at you? All right, Autumn Rain, grab a combo. You know. Another point regarding Shinobi. Shinobi excels very well in team fights. I'll give Shinobi that, because there's a lot of classes that don't excel well in team fights, like D-Rider for example. D-Rider is definitely one of the best 1v1 classes, but in terms of fighting like outnumbered fights, especially like 1v2, even a perfect 5v5 would be very difficult for a D-Rider to excel in. But Shinobi on the other hand excels very, very, very well in team fights. And the reason that is not just because of its mobility and its ability to dodge hits, but because of its very, very quick ability to combo. So it could grapple somebody and combo them very quickly, very easily, and that grapple also has a low cooldown. So, you know, I could be fighting another opponent and I just turn around and just decide, oh, grapple him, combo him. Like it's just that simple. Like, I could be fighting like 3 people over here at once, turn around, grapple. Very simple. And it doesn't like, and it has like almost no drawbacks as well, because it's not like you're just wasting your cooldown. It's not like Faceless where like you waste your Falling Darkness on another person and now the opponent you were fighting before just gonna, you know, come kill you. Like no, you used your grapple on him and you comboed him. Your cooldown's reset in like 3 seconds, so now you can like Shadow Rush away for a second, then grapple somebody else, you know. And lastly, I just want to say that this class is more than just about macros. I touched on this before. I said that you don't need a macro for this class. I really do mean that. You don't need a macro. And having a one-shot macro isn't gonna give you all the survivability you want in K. Like you're not automatically just gonna go out and game and kill everybody just because you have some crazy macro that one-shots. This class is more than just about macros, and it involves game sense as well. You have to be knowledgeable about how you use your macro, or how you combo in general. You gotta be knowledgeable about how your opponents fight and how to fight against them, and the best situations to use things like a macro. So I just want to say that this class is more than just about macros, because if you think that you're just gonna get some crazy OP macro and think that you're gonna run K because of that, you're mistaken, bro. I'm sorry, you're just mistaken. That's not gonna happen. I promise you, that's not gonna happen. All right, now it's time to get on to the portion of the video that I've been waiting to get onto. This I feel like is gonna be the most important, because understanding how to fight classes and understanding how other classes fight, it's very, very important, and it matters more than just what combo you're gonna hit and what macro you're gonna hit. Like, it matters more than just that, you know. All right, so the classes that we're gonna start off with, we're gonna go in order. So we're gonna start off with dagger classes, since I'm on a dagger class right now, and we're gonna talk about how to fight the dagger classes in order. All right, so the first class we're gonna get into is Spy. So we're doing the dagger classes right now. We're gonna start with Spy. So Spy, in my opinion, is the second best class in the game. It's a very, very good class, and it's a class that Shinobi struggles really hard against. The thing with Spy that makes Shinobi a bad matchup for it is that Spy has a lot of ragdoll moves and has disarming moves, which makes it very difficult to fight. So for example, bomb jump. Bomb jump is a move that is very, very hard to counter on Shinobi because it's instantaneous and it's just a ragdoll. Like, once you grapple somebody and then they bomb jump you at the air, then what are you gonna do? Like, it's just an instantaneous ragdoll, you know? Mana grenade is also an issue too, because you could also use that mid-air as well, but another issue with mana grenade is that it disarms. And it's very easy to hit a bomb jump on a Shinobi, because there's times in the fight where Shinobi's gonna have to get close to you to pressure you. So you can just bomb jump whenever that happens, and then you get a free ragdoll on them, and then you can like stun that with a mana grenade or with a duelist dash. So, you know, for all these reasons, it's really hard for Shinobi to fight Spy. And then you got the M2 disarm as well. That shit has hyper armor on it. I don't know why the fuck that shit has hyper armor, but it does. And that can get you caught lacking, and that can get you disarmed. And getting disarmed on Shinobi is not what you want to happen. If you get disarmed, you're honestly cooked, bro. Like, you're genuinely cooked. When I get disarmed, I normally just grapple away, just camp on my snap gilly, and then I go back to my dagger and I roll into it. Tell me what I do. There's no way in hell am I staying down there to fight you with no fucking weapon in my hand, especially if you're a Spy. Oh, hell no, absolutely not, bro. Get the fuck out. So now how to fight against Spy. Now that you know what Spies do, now how to fight against them. For a lot of classes that counter Shinobi really hard, there's not many things you can do to counter those counters, but you could just try and make up for it by fighting in the best ways you can. For Spies, the best thing to do is to bait out their bomb jump. And if you do bait out their bomb jump, then spam grapple them. That's like the best way to actually hit your grapple combos on them, because otherwise they're gonna bomb jump out your grapple combos. But if you're fighting a good Spy who doesn't bait out his bomb jump, then what you can do is, when I normally play, I still try and get as many grapple combos on them as possible, even if I know they're gonna bomb jump me. Because even if they bomb jump me out the air, I still hit a rising on them most likely. Chances are when I'm going in for a grapple combo and they bomb jump me out the air, I still get a rising cloud hit on them, which means I have an autumn rain hit that I can hit on them when I want to. So if they try and like do a duelist dash off of a ragdoll or something like that, what I then do is I try and hit it. It depends on how close they are to me. There's a lot of things you can do if they try and duelist dash you off of a ragdoll. A lot of the combo Spies don't do it too much anymore, but if they do it, there's a lot of things you can do to counter that. What you can do is, one, you can try blocking it. There's like a timing that you can do to like perfect block the M2 so that they can't double duelist you properly. But that's more of like a last resort, because you're still gonna take some damage by doing it. You just won't take the maximum amount of damage. You'll take a lot less though, I won't lie, because you'll be able to block their M2 and block a lot of the bullseyes and stop the second duelist from hitting you. The bullseyes are what do most of the damage. What I do recommend doing is, if you have Spellblade Gelly, I recommend Spellblade Gelling them off a ragdoll. But when you do it, and the spellblade comes out, I recommend putting your weapon away, because a lot of spies M2 during their duelist. Pretty much all spies do it, honestly. They M2 during their duelist. So say the spellblade doesn't hit for some reason, or maybe it does hit, even though you spellblade them properly with Geli, at least you won't get disarmed. Because getting disarmed is so bad. So you want to spellblade off of the ragdoll, like as they're duelist dashing at you, off of your ragdoll, spellblade them, and then put it away. And then you should be able to hit them with the Geli. And then not only will you be able to do that and get them off of you, but they'll also be ragdolled. So once they're ragdolled, then you can hit them with the combo, like I'll show you. They'll be ragdolled, so now you can go at them with the combo. So that's what I recommend for doing when they bomb jump you and duelist dash you off a bomb jump. A lot of the ways that the spies play nowadays, though, they don't really do that anymore. They duelist dash you first. So that has a lot less of a counter, I'm not gonna lie. Them duelist dashing you first is a lot harder to predict. But generally, what you want to know is that when a spy is gonna duelist dash you without ragdoll first, they're generally waiting for you to dash. So sometimes you can bait that. I like to do that a lot. Low-key, this is why I like having spellblade Geli. You can use Talorm if you want, but this is why I like having spellblade Geli. When spies when spies are ready to duelist dash me, because normally I can tell, because I played spy and I fought a lot of spies before. I know how they play. Normally I can tell when they want to duelist dash me. Sometimes I bait it out. I dash first, so that because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for you to dash. They're trying to run at you with their rapier so they can scare you, so that you can dash. And then when you dash, that's when they punish you. And they use their duelist dash animation to hit you, because now you're stun locked. Because when you dash, you can't run for a split second, and you also can't dash again for another split second. So basically you're stunned, and they're waiting for that dash. So what I do is I dash first to bait it, and I spellblade after that. And that works on a lot of spies. Even the very, very good spies that I play against, it works most of the time, because all the competitive players wait for you to dash. So dash baiting is a very good technique. You could also shadow rush. You can go like this, and then shadow rush afterwards. And then now that you shadow rushed away, they duelist dash the air. I wish I had clips of this stuff. I don't have clips of this stuff. But maybe I do. I'd have to check, but I really don't feel like doing that. I hope my explanations are really good for you guys. But if you if you dash bait, right? If you dash bait like this, and then you shadow rush away right after that, ideally they're gonna look at your dash bait or bite against your dash bait, and they're gonna do this dash to air. Since you shadow rushed away, they're not gonna hit you. And now that they do a dash to air, that basically leaves them open for a grapple combo. So essentially, it's like knowing how a spy is gonna play and trying to punish them because of that. You know they're gonna try and duelist you. You know they're waiting for your dash, so dash just to bait it and spellblade, or dash to bait it, then shadow rush away. And if you're really fast and you're confident in your ability to dodge them, then you don't even have to just do it instantly. You can look at your opponent and wait to see them actually using the animation. If you see them using the animation for duelist dash, then you can dash away and then grapple them. And then you can hit a combo on them. And then, they're gonna be stunned for it, most likely, because they're already in the duelist dash animation. And they haven't hit you with any of the bullets. You get more no stun on it if you hit the bullets on the person. But since they didn't hit the bullets and they hit the air, they have less no stun, and they're probably gonna get hit by a lot of your combo, if not all of it. Is there anything else I want to say for spy? Use mana shield a lot. I definitely recommend using mana shield a lot. And don't think that mana shield is gonna completely save you, because I make that mistake sometimes too. Like I'll use mana shield, then I'll dash, and then they'll do his dash at me with my mana shield up, and my mana shield will block the first duelist, but then the M2 will pierce through my mana shield. When that happens, I get hit by the second duelist, and then that does a lot of damage already, because even just one spy duelist does a lot of fucking damage. And then they just bomb jump me afterwards, and I get hit with the combo extender. So don't think that you're safe just because you mana shield, but I definitely do recommend mana shielding a lot, because if a spy is running at you, obviously mana shield if they're running at you. Just try and be careful about how you use your dash, because a lot of spies wait for that. They wait for you to use your dash so they can do is dash you. And if you do waste it, make up for it. Spellblade them, or you don't even have to Shadow Rush away from them. You could Shadow Rush them. So if you waste your dash, turn around and Shadow Rush them, and then maybe you'll go up in the air, then you can do like a little grapple or something like that. Really depends. There's probably a lot more I can say about Spy, but I just want to move on because there's just so many classes that I have to cover. So moving on to the second class, we have Faceless. Faceless is also one of those classes that can counter Shinobi a lot, and you have to play right against the Faceless. The reason why Faceless can counter you is because of their TP dashes. So if you grapple the Faceless in the air, what they can do is they can mana shield and just start using TP dashes in any direction they want to, and essentially that's just gonna make it so that they don't get hit by the mana shield is for the owl slash, so they won't get hit by the owl slash with the mana shield, and then when they TP dash, they'll just TP dash out your combo. Like you won't be able to hit them because your whole combo relies on you getting close to your opponent and hitting them. But if they TP dash away from you, then how are you supposed to hit them? Exactly. That's why Faceless counters Shinobi a little bit. Now, how to fight them? You can use Bane if you want to. I don't use Bane too much against a lot of classes, but you can use Bane on a Faceless if you want to. You can do Bane, it hits into a Rising, Shadow Rush like that. That's what I tend to do. There's a lot of macro combos that are good for it. I don't use any of the macro combos, so I just do Rising, Shadow Rush, and then I have an Autumn Rain that I can use whenever I want to. But the main thing you want to do against Faceless, even though they can TP dash out of your grapple combo, I don't think that means you need to stop using grapple combos. I think you should keep trying to use them every now and then. But mainly what you want to do is you want to be unpredictable with your grapples, and that's one thing that I forgot to say for Spy, but it's basically true for all classes. You basically want to be unpredictable with all your grapples, but especially on classes that counter you, because you're not going to get many chances to actually hit the grapple combo in the first place. So you want to be as unpredictable as possible, meaning like don't make it look like you're going to grapple somebody. Like be like running this way, then grapple them, combo. You know, try and be like very unpredictable. Like, you know, like, oh, I'm running, or I'm on a snap gelly, I need my cold heart, nope, I'm gonna grapple you. You know, try to be as unpredictable as possible. Or, you know, I'm on my snap gelly, nope, I'm gonna combo you. Oh shit. Guys, I don't know why I'm not hitting the Rising. Wait, there we go. Holy shit. I don't know why that took me a couple tries. I normally do that first try, like in real games. I don't even know. I guess I'm just washed right now. But yeah. Try and be as unpredictable as possible. So if like a Faceless is close to you, you can try hitting them with the grapple combo if they're close to you, because it's a lot harder for them to dash out your combo if you're like right next to them, because it's very fast. Like you just grapple them and then you already combo them, you know? It's harder for them to dash out if you do it like that. What you can also do is, I haven't done this in a bit, but you can also do this. You can block and wait for the Faceless to M1 your grapple. Sorry, M1 your block, because they're gonna have a Bane pop. They have a 20-second Bane, so if they M1 your block, then you could get a stun on them, because Cruel Wind has basically an insta hit. So what you want to do is let them M1 your block and then just do a ground combo off of that. Jump, Cruel Wind, Rising, Shadow Rush. So let them hit your block and then combo them. I did it wrong, but like ideally you just, here, let me show you again. You block and then, what the fuck? Ideally you just block and then you just combo them. Block, let them hit your block, and then you just combo them off of that. That works for a lot of classes, by the way. It's not just Faceless that works for. That works for basically every single class that you can think of. But it's just more viable with Faceless and one other class I'm going to talk about later on in the video. It's just more viable for that class because they have a Bane. They have a 20-second Bane, and they're going to be trying to hit you with the Bane. So you can block their hits and then just, you know, just ground combo them from there. A lot of Faceless play Morbid Faceless, but if they're not Morbid, or even if they are Morbid, you can still try this. But try hitting them with the Gelly. There's a little tech you can do where you can stack Gelly, Shadow Rush, Gelly. And then like there's like a Shadow Rush animation where you can like hit them with the Gelidus, or you could just use a Spellblade Geli, whatever you need to do. And once you hit that Geli, then you can combo them off the Geli. Basically what that's gonna do is that's basically a free combo. It's gonna ensure that you hit a grapple combo if they don't, you know, have flock or anything like that. If they do have flock, they might flock it. But even then, if you time it perfectly, you can still hit them with like at least the rising part of it. But that's just gonna ensure that you can hit a free combo on them every now and then. If you get like a Spellblade, oh, now I got a Spellblade and I can combo, you know. There's not much more I want to say for Faceless. I don't get many questions about fighting this class, so I'm just not gonna spend too much time on it. Now we're gonna move on to, oh, I guess Shinobi. Okay, Shinobi 1v1s are kind of awkward a little bit. Shinobi 1v1s tend to be more about blocking and then punishing and then who pressures first. People play differently in Shinobi 1v1s. What I like to do and what Kenneth likes to do, what works for us, is we like to play more passive in Shinobi 1v1s. So, you know, we stand and we block and then we wait for our opponent to make a mistake, because a lot of times they'll try and like throw out a nasty Shadow Rush and it's like very easily predictable, like, okay, I see you walking towards me, I see you about to Shadow Rush me, like I can just dash away. Or like I'll wait for them to grapple my block, and if they grapple my block, obviously they'll get sent ragdoll flying, and then I can just grapple their ragdoll body and combo them off of that. But essentially, when I'm in a Shinobi 1v1, I like to play more patiently and wait for my opponent to make mistakes. But if that doesn't happen and my opponent's like also playing the same way or something like that, you could also be aggressive as well, because that's another thing too. You could play passive, but being aggressive is also very important in a Shinobi 1v1, because whoever gets the first combo is the one that tends to do the most damage at the start. Ground combos are very important for Shinobi 1v1s. A lot of the times you guys will get close to each other, like, you know, you guys will be Shadow Rushing towards each other, and then eventually you'll get close to each other. If you guys are like within distance like this within each other, something's gonna happen in this moment. Like if you're fighting a decent Shinobi, something's gonna happen in this instance. You guys are ideally in this moment, you guys are both blocking right now, but this is distance enough to hit somebody with something. If he has Shadow Rush, he's gonna Shadow Rush you, so be wary of that. A lot of Shinobis also like to dash and cruel wind, because like I said, cruel wind breaks blocks, so they like to dash and cruel wind. But just know and be wary that once your opponent gets close to you, like if you're far away like this, then you're basically at a deadlock. There's not much you can do. You can wait for your opponent to stop blocking and grapple them, but they're probably gonna do the same to you, unless they try and get close to you by like maybe Shadow Rushing towards you. That's a good way to get close to your opponent. But once you guys are actually close to each other, then a lot of things can happen. Your opponent might dash at you and try and why am I doing that? I genuinely have no idea why I'm doing that. But your opponent might dash at you and try to ground combo. They might dash at you and try to cruel wind, like I said. I don't know why I'm missing that. I'm just so ass today. Or they might try and cancel their animation with the Shadow Rush and go like this. I do that a lot. I like doing that. But just know that if you're playing the defensive arm, just know that your opponent might want to do that. What I like to do, and this works for a lot, even for a lot of the competitive Shinobis, this works a lot. I like to dash away and grapple them, because it's kind of like pre-firing what they're gonna do. Like a lot of times if I'm this close to a Shinobi, I know they're gonna dash at me in cruel wind, or I know they're gonna dash at me in Shadow Rush or something like that, or try and ground combo. I know they're gonna do one of those three things. So what I do is I wait for the dash, or I try and pre-fire the dash, and then I dash to the side like this. I dash away from them as they're dashing towards me with like the cruel wind or something like that, and then I grapple them. So I'm blocking. Oh, they're gonna dash at me with cruel wind. Dash, grapple, and I combo them. That works on a lot of Uber Shinobis, and a lot of Uber Shinobis don't use that tech, but it's definitely very useful, and it's something that I recommend trying if you're in the Shinobi 1v1. Another thing that's also sometimes useful is comboing off of your comboing off their combo, basically. So if you make a mistake and you get grapple comboed, it's not the end of the world. There's a lot of things you can do to make up for it. One of those being you can combo them while they're comboing. that's something that you might want to do if you have Regalia, or if you have like, you know, just another tanky Shinobi build, like maybe Madration or something like that, or maybe like I don't know, like a Navin with Silver copy. I don't know, but basically if you're tanky, you can definitely tank their Shinobi combo and throw out your own Shinobi combo while they're comboing. And if they're, you know, a class that's a different race than you that might have less HP, then they might take more damage than you during their own combo. So it's kind of like you're basically punishing them for hitting their own combo. And it's annoying sometimes when it happens to you, but if you're like a Denakiri and you have Regalia on, then I do recommend utilizing it. You can also, if you're scared to get punished during the combo, like if you don't want to combo them while they're comboing, because no matter what, if you do that, you're gonna take damage. So if you're scared about taking the damage, what you can do is you can Rising Cloud first and then block. So Rising block. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna hit them with a Rising as they come towards you, and then there's a chance that you'll block the combo. You don't always block the combo effectively, depending on the angle that they hit you at, but you could definitely try it if you don't want to take damage from the combo that they hit you with. And then on top of that, you'll hit them with the Rising, so you'll have an Autumn Rain to hit them with to keep the pressure off you, because chances are after they hit you with that combo, they're going to try and pressure you on the ground. And because they have an Autumn Rain, they're able to pressure you effectively, and you want to get out that moment. But now you have an Autumn Rain to yourself to help you get out that moment. What you can also do is, this is a little bit advanced though. You can let them, okay, you can block their combo, right? And then after you block their combo, or even after they combo you, like it's either one. After they combo you or after you block their, or after you block their combo, you can try and Autumn Rain while in the air to stay in the air a little bit longer, and then watch their animation as they're falling down on top of you, and then once they fall on top of you, then combo them off that. That's a little advanced. It's kind of hard to explain as well, but basically they combo you and then you're both in the air, and because he comboed you and he used like Cruel Wind at the end of his combo, most likely he's gonna be higher than you. So what you do is you Autumn Rain to stay in the air longer, because when you Autumn Rain, it gives you a double jump. So you Autumn Rain to stay in the air just a little bit longer so that he can fall down towards you. Once he falls down towards you, then you just Rising and Shadow Rush or whatever you want to do, and then you combo him in the air too. It's a little bit advanced, but you know, if you feel like you want to do that, then you can do that as well. So you know, there's a lot of things you can do if you get put in a situation where you're grappled. Another thing you can do as well is you can just dash out the combo. Honestly, that one's not a bad thing to do if you know you're gonna take damage, or if you feel like you have a lot of HP and you don't mind just taking a little bit of damage. Just dashing out the combo is effective, because basically you'll get hit by the Rising and the Owl Slash, but the whole Shadow Rush part of the combo, like the whole part of the combo that like the whole like the whole spinning part of the combo, that's not gonna hit you. You're just gonna get hit by like the Owl Slash and the Rising if you just dash out the combo. And what that means is when they grapple you, you dash to the side like this. It's like, let me try and do it on my D rider. Like that. You dash to the side, and then ideally you're not gonna get hit with that much. At most you're gonna get hit with the Rising and an Owl Slash, but you're not gonna get hit with the rest of the combo. Alright, moving on to Fist classes. Now these are gonna be two classes that you probably are gonna struggle against the most, honestly. Maybe not the most, but you're definitely gonna struggle a lot against them. So one of them is Oni. Now Oni is one of those classes that everybody often asks me, like, how do you fight that? Like, how do you fight an Oni? Like, when an Oni pulls up, what do you do? And I understand it, because Oni is definitely one of those classes that's hard to fight. I'll explain why in a second. Alright, so the reason why Oni is very, very hard to fight on Shinobi, like, it's one of the hardest classes to fight for a Shinobi. Definitely harder than Spy, harder than Faceless. Yeah, definitely. The reason why it's hard to fight is because One, Oni has a lot of moves that keep him glued to the ground, a lot of anchoring moves. So basically, Demon Step is basically the main thing, honestly. When they Demon Step and you grapple them, they don't get like put in the air. So if you Demon Step them, if you grapple them as they Demon Step, they don't go in the air. So that's one. It's hard to get them in the air in general because they're Demon Stepping a lot. Two, if you get them in the air, they could Demon Step out of your combo. They don't even have to Demon Flip M1. They could if they want to guarantee that they actually miss your combo for sure. But they honestly really don't even have to do that. If they just Demon Step at the right time, when you try and grapple combo them, then they're going to Demon Step out of your whole entire combo, even if you get them in the air. And then ground combos, you could try doing ground combos on them a lot, but obviously Onis excel in close quarter combat, so you're gonna get hit a lot while trying to do that. So overall, you just don't have many options because of the fact that, you know, grapple combos hardly ever work because they hardly even go up in the air, and when you do, you can hardly even hit them. And when you do hit them, a lot of times it's not even a full grapple combo. Most of the time it's like you hit the rising and then you hit like maybe half the shadow rush, maybe even less than half the shadow rush, and then like you don't even hit the rest because they Demon Step the rest of it. So this class is like really hard to fight on Shinobi. What you can do to try to counteract this, it really depends on the type of Oni that you're fighting. But if you're fighting an Oni that's like, I guess, mediocre, what you can do is you can try and play more passively, and what you can do is you can try and, like, you know, hold block a lot. I recommend, yeah, definitely focus on the defensive. Know the Oni's moves. Know that, okay, I can block, but I can't stand in the same place for too long because I know he's gonna Alchemist M2 me and try and break my block, or he's gonna Asic me and try and break my block. But definitely, like, be mobile and try to, like, block his hits a lot. The reason why you're gonna try and want to block and be defensive is because you're gonna want to bait out his Masogi. If he Masogi's your block, that's the best opportunity you're gonna get to do a combo on them. When they Masogi your block, that leaves them open for a ground combo. And then now that you hit that ground combo on them, you've done a bit of damage to them, and now you can, you know, extend off that with an Autumn Rain into a Shadow Rush, or an Autumn Rain into lethality, like whatever you want to do, or an Autumn Rain into a grapple too. You could even do that. If you feel like the Autumn Rain is gonna hit them and it's gonna stun them enough, you can Autumn Rain into a grapple. Besides that tech, there's not many ways you're gonna be able to do consistent damage on an Oni. So try and play defensive. Wait for them to come near you. When they're near you, ground combo them. I didn't do it properly there. I don't know why I'm failing so much now. Probably because I'm not clicking fast enough. But you know, when they come near you, try and you know, ground combo them on the ground. Still be mobile. Still, like, play defensively and be mobile. But if they get near you, just try and ground combo them. Basically, you're just gonna have to abuse ground combos a lot. You can still try and grapple combo every now and then. I do recommend it because if you do it every now and then and do it like unexpectedly, like, you know, when they're like really close, they're less likely to Demon Step as much if they're like right close to you. So just, oh shit, I don't know what the hell I did there, but they're less likely to do it if they're really close to you. And then you could just, you know, grapple combo them. And you might hit it on them, you might not. It's really dependent on, you know, their skill and like if they're Demon Stepping at the time or whatever. But try and be mobile, unpredictable, play defensively, bait out that Masogi so you can hit a ground combo. And then yeah. And then try and hit ground combos regularly, like while they're coming close to you. That's pretty much the most I can say about Oni. You could also use Bane. Just be smart about how you use Bane, because when you use Bane, what they like to do is they like to Mana Shield into a Rampage, or Mana Shield into a Leg Breaker, so just be wary of that. You can do like one M1 to like TP to them, then dash to the side, and then you can like bait their Leg Breaker out. And if they do that, then you can honestly grapple them off of that, because if you bait out their Leg Breaker, they're stunned, and you can grapple them off of that. Or they might Rampage. Honestly, that's a good bait as well, because if they Rampage Mana Shield, they're also going to be stunned for that. There's a split second during the animation where if you're fast enough, if you grapple them while they're rampaging, then it brings them in the air, and then you can combo them freely, because rampage doesn't hit you while you're in the air. Like, I tested a lot of times, and I've done it a lot of times. If you grapple them while they're rampaging and you hit them with the combo, the rampage animation won't hit you while you're in the air. You're like almost completely fine. Okay, if you get hit by it, you're just unlucky. I'm just gonna say that, because I've never gotten hit by that shit before while in the air, never. So if you get hit by that shit, then you're just unlucky. And I've done it plenty of times against plenty of Onis. Waited out the rampage and then just grappled them off that. But yeah, besides that, I feel like there should be more that I have to say, considering that this class is just really hard to fight. But there just isn't too much to say, honestly. You really just have to be patient. A fight with the Oni is going to take a long time. You're not going to do consistent damage, and you're not going to have consistent pressure, because they're able to iframe all your shit. You're not going to have consistent pressure. And if they're a guy in Oni, it's even worse, because your poison enchant doesn't really work on them, because poison enchant is like one of the best enchants for Shinobi because of the chip damage. But your poison enchant won't work on the Oni, and then they have 25% slash res on top of them already probably having the slash res blessing. So they take like so much less damage to all your attacks. So, you know, Onis are definitely not a fun class to fight on Shinobi. Mind you, all it takes is one combo for them, and then you're fucking dead. Alrighty, moving on to D-Sage. D-Sage is another class that I feel counters Shinobi quite a bit. More so than Faceless. Probably more so than Spy as well. I honestly rather fight a Spy than a D-Sage. But whether it's more counter, like whether it counters more than Oni or not, that's debatable. But I think D-Sage is really up there, simply because of the fact that it's almost impossible to hit a grapple combo on a D-Sage that knows what they're doing. They have like 7 TP dashes, and they don't require mana. That's the main issue with it. The TP dashes don't require mana. So even if you like get a ragdoll on a D-Sage and you try and combo off the ragdoll, even that's gonna be hard to hit because of the fact that they can still TP dash off of that ragdoll, because they don't need mana for it. The thing with Faceless can't do that because they need mana for their TP dashes. But D-Sage, they don't. And I'm pretty sure the TP dashes for D-Sage are farther anyway too as well. So like they're very mobile. They have a lot of TP dashes, and they also have an infinite bane basically, because anytime they want, they throw out their first M1 punch, they can hit you. So it's a really annoying to fight a D-Sage because they can just punish you at any moment they want, while you struggle to hit good grapple combos on them. And ground combos too are going to be difficult to hit as well because of the fact that they have 7 TP dashes. They're going to, like, if they know what they're doing against a Shinobi, they're going to be blocking a lot or dodging a lot, and they're not going to let you hit a ground combo on them, because they're just going to TP dash away from you. They'll probably bait you out and then like TP dash back and then forward just to hit you with the Bane M1 after you waste your ground combo thing, because you'll be open for a second. What I recommend doing against D-Sages, you can use Bane. What we could also do is do the block tech again. Block tech works better against D-Sages than against Facelesses, because Facelesses, they have an agility Bane, so they're gonna have more M1 hits, so there's a smaller window to hit the ground combo. But for D-Sages, they don't have agility or anything that speeds up their punches. They have a lot of stun. Now that's what they have. They have a lot of stun, but if you're blocking, the stun's not gonna affect you. So if you block the first M1, just ground combo them, and then that's like the best way to hit a combo on a D-Sage. The one thing about D-Sage is that they don't have that much HP, so you could definitely do a lot of chip damage over time. Like even just hitting one ground combo on them with poison procs, and then like if they try and come at you again, just hitting them with the autumn rain, just that alone is probably going to put them like half or near half, you know. Now, just because a D-Sage is able to dodge your grapple combos, I don't think that means you need to stop doing it. You should still try and do it consistently. Just be smart. Don't expect it to hit. Like, don't go fighting a D-Sage expecting you to hit grapple combos on them a lot of the time. And just be careful. be wary. There's not really too much I can say about this class in particular as well, because they TB dash out your grapple combos, so you just gotta try your best to like be unpredictable and hit one on them, but also play defensively as well, because you don't want to get hit by that punch. If you get hit by that punch, then you might be cooked. Especially if you're not like Regalia or anything to give you more HP, because literally all it takes is one combo and you're honestly just dead. These are just one of the classes that counter Shinobi a lot. But your saving grace though is that your chip damage is actually a little bit more than just chip damage. It does a lot of damage because DSH doesn't have that much HP. So even if you hit like one Owl Slash and the poison procs, even that is gonna do quite a bit of damage to a D-Sage. So if you do end up getting lucky and getting one grapple combo on a D-Sage, like they're already basically like probably below half from that, and then you can hit them with the Autumn Rain and, you know, just keep pressuring them. Another saving grace for you as well is that they probably won't be able to probably won't be able to perfect block your Shadow Rush, and you might be able to get a block break off of that, because they have mana charge and they can't parry your Shadow Rush, which is something that a lot of classes do. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna get into spirit classes now. So first we're gonna do Dragon Rider, which is what I'm on right here. But Dragon Rider, for Dragon Rider, Shinobi actually matches up well against Dragon Rider. But just because it matches up well against Dragon Rider, that doesn't mean you should like put your guard down or, you know, think you're automatically good. You need to still try your hardest. That's one thing about Shinobi. You can't really play at a mediocre level and expect to win a lot of the time. Most of the time you have to be playing at your best, or at least at a really good level, in order to still get kills. That's the one thing about Shinobi. A Dragon Rider can still absolutely kill a Shinobi in ones. Dragon Rider is definitely one of the best 1v1 classes, because like I could just show you guys right now, bro. Like this shit is so busted. Oh, whoops, I did not mean to do that. You know, you could just like, I don't know, just Spellblade into ensnaring. Oh shit. Oh my god, that is so loud. But yeah, I missed the snapping this, but I could have kept going with the snapping this. But oh, I have Regalia on. See, I had Regalia on, so that didn't even do that much damage, honestly. But well, if you're playing a Shinobi that's without Regalia, you're gonna take a lot of damage from that, especially with the burn damage. But yeah, D-Rider is one of the best 1v1 classes, so even though this matches up well against it, you should still try and be still play at your best, play at your hardest. What you want to do is, I honestly just spam grapple D-Riders. Like, I don't try and get too many immediate ground combos on them, because they can put up ensnaring anytime they want. So I don't mind keeping my distance on a Dragon Rider, and also because I'm mobile. So what I'll do is I'll stay at a distance and I'll block their Justice Spears, because they're probably gonna be spamming with Justice Spears. I'll block their Justice Spears. If they try and throw a heroic volley, then I'll just quickly manage the heroic volley. You know, nothing too big of a deal. And then I wait for an opportunity for them to for me to grapple them. If they're throwing a Justice Spear out, chances are they're gonna be open for a grapple combo, but sometimes they do it and they block at the same time, so you won't be able to grapple combo them because they're blocking. If you're fighting somebody who's playing D-Rider that's really good at blocking, what I recommend doing is waiting for the M2, because if they're on D-Rider, what they're gonna be doing is they're probably gonna be spamming M2 a lot, like this. When they M2, the thing about it is that they can't dash and they can't block while they're in that animation, so that gives you a split second to like grapple them up in the air and combo them. Because here, let me turn down the volume on my other account so this isn't like incredibly loud. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna be hitting you with Justice Spears and probably throwing M2s, you know, Justice Spear, M2. Let me go over here. Justice Spear, M2, Spear, M2. So once they do that M2 animation, then I recommend grappling them right there, because it's gonna leave them open just for a little bit, and then you can grapple them and combo them off that. and then you can extend off that. Obviously, it's very easy to pressure a D-Rider, which is why I say it's D-Rider was one of the worst classes for multiple fights, like fighting outnumbered ganks, because they can get pressured very easily. If you hit a combo on a D-Rider, it's very easy to drop down and just, you know, extend the combo, because there's not much they can do to get out that combo. The most they can do is Dragon Roar Spellblade, but if you pressure them hard enough, then they can't even do that. Or they can probably turn on ensnaring to help. But even that isn't foolproof, because, you know, you could still dodge the ensnaring, and you could still or you can waste their ensnaring, because sometimes they won't even have ensnaring up. Like, you can do a grapple combo on them when they have ensnaring down, and that's the thing as well. Wait for them to use that ensnaring. Wait for them to use it, because once they use it, you don't exactly have to rush at them. You could stay far away from them. You could just stay far away from them and play range, and then once the ensnaring is down, then you can pressure them, because what are they gonna do? Once you're near them, you can even use ground combos, honestly, because once you're close to them, what are they gonna do? A D-Rider can't really do much besides hit you with the Spellblade Gelly. Just be wary of that. But besides that, when they have it staring down, they can't do much when they're near you besides, you know, just spear and M2 to try and get them off of you. They fight the best at mid-range and long range. They don't fight the best at close range, unless they're the one actually hitting the combo. But if you're both at a good standing, good grounding, good standing, D-Rider does not fight well on at close range. So wait for that ensnaring to go down, and then just pressure the hell out of them. Literally, it's just pressure. Just pressure the hell out of them. Yeah, there isn't too much I want to say about D-Rider. A lot of the people that I hope, they say they don't struggle too much against D-Rider, which makes sense. I think Shinobi actually fares very well against D-Rider. Just be careful, and just because you're playing aggressive doesn't mean that you should drop your defenses as well. You need to be defensive at the right times. If they're throwing Justice Spears at you, block the Justice Spears. They do a lot of damage. They do a lot of damage, and they do a lot of chip damage over time. You don't want to keep getting hit by Justice Spears. It's not even just the damage that's the main issue. The main issue is the stun. They'll hit you with that and then throw a heroic volley, or like just throw M2s. They'll hit you with a bunch of stuff at once, because they can do Justice Spears combined with other skills. So don't let them pressure you. Don't let them pressure you. Stay defensive enough so that you don't get fully pressured, so you can block their Justice Spears. If they're throwing heroic volley, you know, just quickly manage the heroic volley. And if you feel like they're gonna dash at you and hit you with the heroic volley Dragon Roar like this, then run away. Like Mana Shield and dash away this way, or Shadow Rush away. If you feel like you're definitely gonna get hit with it for sure, because you're fighting a decent opponent, then just Shadow Rush away as a last resort, so that they at least when you get hit by the heroic volley, they're far away from you. Like, I'll show you that in action. Like, you can just see, and now I'm far away from my opponent. Now they gotta hit me with the Snap Bigness, and they might even miss the Snap Bigness, but the bottom line is they won't be able to hit me as easily, and I might have fucked up their combo by doing that. Okay, so moving on to Deep Knight. Deep Knight's a bit of a weird one. If you play it right, you could definitely win against a lot of Deep Knights, but the thing with Deep Knight is that it's one of the best, if not the best. I think, in my opinion, it is the best 1v1 class in the game, simply because of the fact that Soul Siphon is just a ridiculous move. Like, you literally just have to sit there and watch half your HP disappear, while they get to sit there and watch half their HP go back up, plus they have Deep Sec. Like, what? It's ridiculous. But yeah, Soul Siphon is definitely one of those, or sorry, Deep Knight is one of those classes that are like, if you make a mistake, you're honestly cooked. But if you do play it right, you can pressure the hell out of a Deep Knight and get a lot of kills on a lot of Deep Knights. So the only thing you really have to worry about with Deep Knight is you just want to play defensive enough, like play aggressive against them, but also play defensive enough to the point where you won't get tethered, because once you get tethered, it might be wraps for you, but it's not always completely over. So how to avoid getting tethered? One of the best ways is by mana shielding their Void Spear. Mana shielding in general is just really good because it blocks the tether that they throw at you, and it blocks their void spear. So I recommend mana shielding a lot in looking for a grapple opportunity. So like I have my mana shield up, and I have my Kenneth just joined VC. What's up, Kenneth? So I have my I have my mana shield up, and I have grapple equipped, and I'm looking for an opportunity to grapple them while I'm mana shielding. And the reason why I'm mana shielding so much is because most of their attacks are mana shieldable, and if they do decide to do a void spear, then I need to be able to block that. There's only one way to block that, and that's with, well, you could block it with normal block, but if you do that, then they can break your block with other moves. So you want to be able to use, mana shield. And after they void spear and it hits your mana shield, then you want to dash while doing once they get to you, because they're probably gonna light pierce your mana shield. So you don't want to stand still when they teleport to you. You want to dash away from them. So I feel like it's really easy to get a pressure on a Deep Knight, get the pressure up. You really just have to play a little bit defensively and then look for that grapple opportunity, which you're probably gonna get a lot. Unless they're blocking a lot, which a lot of good Deep Knights do. But eventually they're gonna have to stop blocking at some point, and when they do, then you can, get that grapple opportunity on them. Just be very careful not to get hit by that void spear or get hit by a tether in general. If you do somehow get a tether on you, it's not the end of the world. Some things to note is that when they light piercer you, because once they're tethered, the light piercer auto aims towards you. Once the light piercer auto aims towards you, you can block it, and then if you hold down F while it hits you, it's gonna hit you, but you're gonna keep the block animation up. So if you teleport to them and they like try and chain pull you or something, then you can block the chain pull and then dash out the combo. That's something that you can do. Or what you can do is, if you have Spellblade Gilly, which is why I recommend Spellblade Gilly so much. It can save you from a lot of situations. There's a lot of times it's helped me so much. But you could also, after they use the light piercer on you, what you can do is you can dash and Spellblade Gilly, and if you time it right, when you teleport to them, they'll the Spellblade Gilly will hit them, and then you won't get hit by a combo, obviously, because you just spellbladed them and now they're right up from the Gilly. Another thing you can do as well is you can block Gelidus. It's not easy to do if you're trying it for the first time, but you can block Gelidus while you're tethered and then get out of shift lock. And what that's gonna do is that since you're out of shift lock, when it pulls you towards your opponent, it's gonna turn your camera towards them and it's automatically gonna hit them with the Gelidus. So that's also another tech that you can use. Those are just things you can do if you get tethered and you want to get out of that situation fast. If you feel like you don't have time to charge mana to do a block Gelidus or something like that, then you can Shadow Rush as well. You obviously get Spellblade. Spellblade, you don't need any mana requirement for that, but you can also Shadow Rush out the combo as well. Like as soon as they try and time it right, as soon as they tether you towards them, then just Shadow Rush them, and then you could probably get out the combo. But you really don't want to get hit by that Soul Siphon though. Once you get hit by the Soul Siphon, you just gotta sit there and watch your HP disappear. And then right afterwards, it depends on what you want to do, but like sometimes, like while I'm in the Soul Siphon, I'm spamming Cruel Wind so I can hit them and I don't get hit after the Soul Siphon is done. Or you can spam Rising Cloud so that they can get launched up in the air, and you also have an Autumn Rain after that you can hit them with and stun them with. The way I play it is, if I do get tethered and I do get Soul Siphoned or something like that, I just start playing hella aggressive. If I get Soul Siphoned or I get tethered or something like that and I know I'm about to get pulled in anyway, then I'm just gonna hit them with my Autumn Rain into a Shadow Rush and then try and be as mobile as possible, because sometimes I fuck it up. If they tether me at the wrong time while I'm hitting them with a bunch of stuff, then it messes up their combo and they can't hit me. Is there anything else I want to say for Deep Knight? Just avoid that tether as much as possible, but if you get tethered, it's not the end of the world. Don't panic. Try and be aggressive and try and save yourself at the combo. Sometimes if they're too far from me, then obviously I dash and Spellblade like I said before, so that I can have a chance of hitting them. But if I'm really close after they tether me, then I'll honestly just grapple them in the air, because that's just gonna fuck up their combo. If they tether me while I grapple them in the air, they're not gonna hit me with anything. And I could hit them with the grapple combo while doing that. If they wait till after the combo's finished to actually tether me, well, now I got an autumn rain on them that I could use. So I could like shadow rush them while they tether me into an autumn rain or something like that. Like there's a lot of things you can do if you just keep the pressure up once they tether you. All right, so for the last spear class, we have Spearfisher. Honestly, for this one, you're probably not gonna find too many like crazy crack Spearfishers in Game and K right now, but for a Spearfisher, you really just have to avoid that one combo. You're gonna get a lot of grapple opportunities on a Spearfisher. You're probably not gonna have that much trouble like actually grappling and comboing them, as far as like, or compared to like a lot of the other classes that I mentioned earlier on the list. But just avoid that one combo that they do at all costs, like the little like spear, like I forgot what it's called, but like the flowing move where it's like the ultra move. But if they hit that on you, there's a chance they can get a good one combo on you, or close to a one combo. So just avoid that. And if you avoid it properly, then you can actually grapple them right after the animation is done, because they'll be left open for just a split second. But there's not really too much I want to say regarding that class, honestly. A lot of Shinobis don't really struggle that much fighting a lot of Spearfishers. Alright, moving on to sword classes. First, we're going to start with Abyss Walker. Now, Abyss Walker is easily one of the classes that counters Shinobi the most. There's a couple of ways that Abyss Walker can counter Shinobi. One, they have, just like Oni, they have a lot of anchoring. When they M1 while they're on the ground, or when they use like deflecting spin, or like a lot of their moves when they're on the ground, it doesn't, if you grapple them at the same time that they use those moves, it doesn't bring them up in the air. And that's annoying, because obviously a lot of the times an Abyss Walker is going to be using their M1s, but when they're using their M1s, you can't grapple them into the air. So you're going to struggle just a little bit more finding an opportunity to put them in the air. But when you play against an Abyss Walker, if you keep your distance from them, obviously you're not going to be like this distance right here. Obviously they're not going to be M1ing at this distance. So from here, you can ideally get them in a grapple combo in the air. But then you just run into some other issues when that happens. Abyss Walkers have a couple moves that can stop your combo while you're in the air. For one, they could throw out M1s. M1s alone are enough to stop your combo. They could also use deflecting spin. That's a very popular one that a lot of Abyss Walkers do. When you grapple them and you get close to them, and they deflecting spin you while you're in the air, and you can't hit the full combo. You might be able to hit a rising so that you can get an autumn rain, but that's about all you're gonna hit. You're not gonna be able to hit the full entire combo. But they don't even have to do that. They honestly can just M1 you out the air. So it becomes really difficult to hit a grapple combo on an Abyss Walker that knows what he's doing effectively. Generally what you want to do is you just want to I mean, because honestly, you know, ground combos are not going to be effective, because like, I mean, it's self-explanatory. They excel in close quarter combat, and you don't want to use Bane, because honestly, if you pop Bane, they can just pop whatever that move is, the pink move. I think it's like Abyssal Soul or something like that. I don't even know. Spinning Soul, something like that. But that move gives them no stun. So if you pop a Bane, they can just pop their own like Bane version of that and just get no stun, and you're not going to be able to hit them with no fucking Bane M1s. And then ground combos, like I said before, you really just, it's hard. You can hit them, but it's just a little bit hard, because you're going to get caught with those M1s, because they're very fast and they have a lot of range. You're going to get caught and you're going to get one comboed. So there isn't too much you can do against an Abyss Walker. If they're mediocre at the game, you could try fighting them, but if they're really good at the game, I'm not gonna lie, just log. If they're mediocre at the game, just fucking log. Or sorry, if they're good at the game, just fucking log, bro. I do that shit all the time. Like if an Abyss Walker is really good and I know that like they're really good, I'm not gonna just casually go fight them. If they pull up, that's a different story. Like I'm gonna find somebody else and they pull up, that's a different story. But I'm not gonna go casually fight an Abyss Walker that's just cracked at the game, bro, because they're just gonna one combo me, and I'm not gonna be able to get any combos on them just because they know exactly how to counter Shinobi. Yeah, like I feel bad that I'm leaving you guys with basically nothing with this class, because at least with like Oni and like D-Sage, I gave you some tips as to how to hit something on them. But for this class, if they know how to counter Shinobi, I really don't know what to say. Like, there's not much you can do. I guess just keep trying to hit grapple combos and keep trying to do chip damage over time. But if they know how to counter you, there's really not that much you can do, honestly. Maybe abuse fall damage, I guess. But even that's hard now with all their moves, new moves and stuff. Yeah, I really don't know what else to say for Abyss Walker. What do you think, Kenneth?
Just leave, bro.
Leave the fuck you. Alright, next up, we're gonna move on to Reaper. So, Reaper is, in my opinion, it's the best class in K, in my opinion. I put Spy at number 2 earlier. Reaper is the best class. But Shinobi actually doesn't fare that bad against Reaper. Like, a good Shinobi could kill a decent Reaper. You just gotta play it correctly, and you have to know how to be defensive as well. Because you can know how to play your class very well, but if you're not being defensive enough or being defensive properly, then you're not gonna be able to live in a fight like that. Because hitting one combo on a Reaper, one grapple combo, it's not gonna win you the fight. Versus if they hit one combo on you, it may have them win the fight. So you want to play defensive enough so that you don't get hit, but you keep doing more and more grapple combo damage over time, because Reapers have a lot of health. They have a lot of health, especially if they go classes, or sorry, races like Madrasian or Denakiri, things like that. What you want to do is, for a Reaper, you want to perfect block their M2s a lot. If you perfect block their M2, you might get a chance to grapple. Good Reapers though stack their M2s with like Gelidus or something, like Gelidus or Snapgelly or Ignis, so it's a little bit harder to get a grapple combo on them when they're doing that. If they use their brands and they M2 Gelidus or something like that, you could still probably get a combo on them, but you just have to be smarter about how you do it. If you perfect block their M2 and they Gelidus, what you can do is you can Spellblade them. Because one thing about that is, if you dash at them with a Spellblade, like if you challenge their Gelidus with Gelidus of your own with a Spellblade, like 8 times out of 10, yours is gonna hit and theirs won't hit. And even if theirs does hit, it's gonna hit at the same time that yours hit. So you'll both be ragdolled and it'll just be a deadlock. Like nothing's gonna happen there. If you have Spellblade Talorum, obviously you can use that to stop their Gelidus and then grapple them. Or you can try and do something a little bit more advanced. You could try and grapple them, mana shield through the Gelidus, and then turn around and combo them. So something like this. A lot of Reapers like to do M2 chase, so just be careful about that. If you see the M2 and you see the chase animation, perfect block the M2 obviously, but keep blocking so that the chase doesn't hit you, because you do not want to get pulled by that chase. Try to avoid their brands as much as possible. Good Reapers always spam their brands a lot. They M2 a lot, but they also M2 like at the same time that they're using their branded like Gelly or their branded Ignis. So just be ready to dodge that. I recommend perfect blocking it with your fists, but if you know you're not gonna be able to perfect block in time, or maybe your perfect block's on cooldown, then you can use mana shield if you want, because their attacks are basically mana shieldable. Just try and be careful and not to get hit by that Gelly, because that Gelly is gonna lead to a free chase. Because you can chase off the ground off of a ragdoll, which I think is kind of stupid, but I mean, hey, it's Rogue Lineage. But besides that, just look for opportunities. You're gonna get opportunities to grapple a Reaper. If you're fighting a really good Reaper, then chances are they're gonna know how to counter Shinobi very well, and they're gonna be blocking a lot and probably block running a lot, like this, or you know, doing the spell block. Oh shoot. They're gonna be doing that a lot, so just be wary of that and try not to grapple that. Because if you do, then and you get ragdoll from the grapple, then they can M2 you off the ragdoll. And it's kind of weird because the way that Reaper M2 works now, and M2s in general really, is that they're really hard to perfect block off a ragdoll. So if they get a good ragdoll on you and then they M2 you off the ragdoll, chances are they can still infinite combo you with the M2s, because you can't really perfect block it that well anymore. You used to be able to, I think. but now it's weird and you're not able to, so you just have to be very wary of that. If a Reaper is infinite comboing you with Fist M2s, because like maybe they'll like hit you with like a Galley like this, and then they'll Fist M2 you into something else. If they're doing that, then Cruel Win. Because remember, Cruel Win is instantaneous, so you can get a free stun on them by Cruel Winning, and then you can maybe like ground combo them off of that, or you can grapple combo them off of that. Or if you just need it as a way to get out the combo and you want to run, then you can do that as well. But besides that, there isn't too much more to say regarding a Reaper. You're probably going to get more grapple opportunities on a Reaper than a lot of the other classes that I mentioned, like Abyss Walker, Oni, D-Sage, Faceless. Just try your best to, while you're like, you can stay aggressive, but at the same time make sure you're being defensive enough to the point where you're not getting hit by random M2s and giving them runes, or where you're getting hit by random chases. Alright, next class and the last class of the sword classes is Sigil. But that is the last class, right? Wait, Abyss Walker, Reaper, Sigil. Is that it, Kenneth? Abyss Walker, Reaper, Sigil?
I look, you don't know, bro.
I think that's it. Alright, so the last sword class is Sigil. Sigil actually, or sorry, Shinobi actually fares decently well against Sigil too. It's just that Sigil is like one of those classes where like if you mess up once, you're just one combo. Shinobi already doesn't have a lot of HP, so you can get one combo before Sigil even finishes his combo. So you just gotta be careful and not get pulled by a Chain of Fate, or not get like stun locked and get hit into a combo. Because Paz Mark and T-Charge has a lot of stun on it and it breaks block, so you're not going to be able to get out that combo. Combining that with Lightning Charge, yeah, you're not getting out that combo at all, so just be careful not to get hit. But besides that, Shinobi actually fares pretty well against a Sigil because it's very easy to pressure them. Because generally, what are they going to do? Like if you're close to them and you're like hitting them with Shadow Rush and you're flying all over them, grappling them, and you know you're like running around them and you hit them with like an Autumn Rain to lethality, there's not much that a Sigil can do about things like that, because they just don't have that many moves that can get you off of them, and you know it's just a lot of pressure for them as a class, because there's just not much they can do against that. And the fall damage as well, it melts them. If they're not mover, they're gonna take a lot of fall damage from the amount of times you grapple them in the air. You could also, oh, I low-key fucked that up. We could also like grapple or Shadow Rush into a grapple to do more fall damage to them if you want, but that's easily blockable. But for Sigils, there's not too much to say. Just stay very diligent. Don't get hit by a random Paz Mark and T charge hit or a random Thunder charge hit. Block their charges. If they're using Ice Charge, Mana Shield that really quickly. Chain of Fate isn't that hard to block, and if you do block it, it leaves them stunned just for a little bit. So block it and then just grapple them instantly and combo them. And then after you combo them, keep the pressure up. Don't stop the pressure, because once the pressure's on them, it's really hard for them to recover. I think that's all I have to say regarding Sigil. Alright, now we're going to move on to mage classes. A lot of people ask me how to fight mage classes as a Shinobi, because they feel like they can't hit them while they're in the air. But I feel like when you focus on that, you have the wrong thing in mind. Like there's something else you need to focus on when you're fighting the mages. Because honestly, mages aren't really even that difficult to fight when you're on a Shinobi. I'd say Shinobi is one of the best classes for fighting mages, honestly. We'll start with Illusionist. So with Illusionist, what you want to do is you want to be very mobile in terms of like dodging their compress, because compress is like, it's one of those moves where it's not really blockable. Like you can block one part of it, but the full thing is like difficult to block. They say you can do it, but I don't really know how to do that, and I haven't been able to figure that out. But generally you can't really block both parts of the compress, and you don't want to get stun locked by that. So try and be as mobile as possible. If you see them flying towards you in the air, you can wait for them to get close to you and then just Shadow Rush away, so that they can like compress the air and you don't get hit by the compress. Or you can, like, you know, go on your Snap Galley. Like if they're flying towards you, just hop on a Snap Galley real quick and then just run for a little bit. If they're about to get near you, grapple a wall so that you can dodge the compress. Basically do everything in your power to be as mobile and dodge their compresses. And you're gonna do that for the entire time that they're in the air. And then you can kind of like, as you fight more illusionists, you'll have like an internal clock, so you'll know like, okay, I've been running around for this amount of time, like I know that the illusionist is about to land soon, so you can like switch the focus. But you can also tell when they're about to land as well. They'll stop being aggressive and they'll like start flying towards maybe like a ledge or something. Like, see, we're in PS right now, they'll probably start flying towards like that ledge over there. As soon as you see them stop being aggressive, that's when you want to turn aggressive. So for the first part, when they're in the air and they're pressuring you, be as mobile as possible, you know, run around, dodge, do whatever you can to dodge. And then as soon as you see them be less aggressive, or as soon as your internal clock kicks in and you know they're about to run out of mana, just start being aggressive on them. Once you see them flying away, chase them. I like to chase them on a snap Gelly if I can. If I can't, and they're about to land really soon, then I just shadow rush towards them. I do whatever I can to get as close to them as possible. Because once they're on the ground, it's really hard for them to recover until they get back in the air. Rising Cloud goes through mana shield, and a lot of times you can pierce their mana shield. So if you grapple them in the air while they're on the ground and they start mana shielding, a lot of times if you hit the combo right, that combo is just going to pierce their mana shield and they're going to get hit by that full thing. And right after that happens, then you can just keep the pressure going. You can hit them with like an Autumn Rain, or you know, any of the combos that I showed you earlier with like Triple Dagger Throw, Shadow Rush, Autumn Rain, Lethality. Just keep the pressure going as much as possible. Use Spell Blitz to your advantage as well. If you feel like you missed a lot of your stuff and they're about to get mana to charge for another mana fly, hit them with a Spellblade Gelly as soon as possible, just to ragdoll them again and give you more time. You basically just want to keep them on the ground and pressure them as much as possible, and don't let them get back in the air. If they do get back in the air, it's not the biggest deal in the world. You just gotta do the same thing again. Play defensively, dodge until their mana runs out, and then just pressure them again while they're on the ground. So essentially, don't hit them while they're in the air, because there's no point, honestly. You're not gonna be able to hit them well while they're in the air. Basically, it's the same principle for the rest of the mages. If I'm moving on to Necro now, basically all the same principles apply. You play defensively until they're out the air, except it's just a little bit different with Necro, because Necro, they're gonna be trying to worm bomb you out the air, or sorry, not out the air. They're gonna be trying to worm bomb you while they're in the air and while you're on the ground. So just use mana shield a lot. Dash around with mana shield. Avoid their shriekers that they spawn in. You know, you can shadow rush if you're about to get hit by a shrieker. If they try and hit you with Worm Blast, just mana shield it. I don't recommend actually blocking, because if you're actually blocking, it makes you stand still. It makes you stand in place, and they can hit you easily with M1s, which breaks your block, and then like your shriekers, or their shriekers are on the ground, they can hit you with their shriekers. It's just more chaos if you try and regularly block their Worm Blast. So if they do a Worm Blast at you, just do mana shield. You shouldn't be using any other thing but mana shield to get to the Necro. And then dodge it, you know, stay defensive. And then once they're about to get on the ground, then pressure them. Snap Gelly towards them, and then just start comboing them. I also recommend Ignising their Shriekers, because if they do have a res, then they spawn at lower HP, the more damage that the Shrieker that they spawned at has. Like the lower health that the Shrieker has, the lower health that they spawn at when they res. So I do recommend Ignising the Shriekers so that they can spawn at lower HP. But just be careful, because sometimes they wait for you to do that. Sometimes they wait for you to Ignis, and then they dash at you, or they fly at you with the Worm Bomb. So just be ready to mana shield if they do that. And then the last mage on the list is Monster Hunter. I mean, this class is so ass. I mean, I guess just play mobile, avoid their Gore Pigs, avoid their Destreenies. That's not really hard to do. Honestly, their monsters hit them a lot more than it hits me, honestly. Especially when they hit the ground. Literally, it's like the same principle. Just wait for them to hit the ground and pressure them, and then just like avoid their monsters the entire time. Or what you could do is you can Ignis them depending on what they are, or Viribus them and like nearly kill them. Because if you get them low, it takes a lot longer for the hunter to despawn them. And if he wants to keep his monsters, then he'll try and despawn them when you're trying to kill them. And when he's despawning them, then it leaves him open to get hit. he might land on the ground, or even if he's in the air, he's at least like standing still in the air. You can like try and hit an out slash on him or something, or Armis him out the air if you have Rained Armis. But yeah, Monster Hunters aren't really that difficult to fight, honestly, especially for a Shinobi. I think that's all the classes, Kenneth. Actually no, we got Bard as well. I mean, for a Bard, just pressure them. I mean, they can't really do much against you. Just don't get disarmed in the air. They have meter blast. Just don't get disarmed in the air. Be careful of that, because if that happens, then you're gonna have to buy a new Tonto most likely, because it's gonna be hard to get it back while it's in the air. Besides that, I mean, not much to say for Bard. Just fight it. Oh, I missed Druid. Okay, Druid. All right, I forgot about Druid. So for Druid, what you're gonna want to do is okay, hold on. Okay, so for Druid is also not too difficult to fight, simply because they don't have mana fly, and you don't have to like wait out anything. So they're on the ground most of the time. They can be annoying if they have a bunch of crystals like TP'd all around the map and they're just TPing around you and they're not actually fighting you. But at the same time, that's like if they're not like actually fighting you. If they're not actually fighting you, then you don't even have to stay there and fight, honestly. If they're just TPing around the map and shooting crystals at you, just get away. Like, what are they gonna do, follow? If they follow, you can just combo them. But if they do want to fight you straight up and fight you on the ground and like use Verdian and use like a Sub-Zero or something like that, and like actually try and infinite combo you with Crystal into Ignis and Gelidus and stuff like that, then what I recommend doing is wait for them to cast a crystal. Or you don't have to if you don't want to, honestly. Anytime you get an opening on them, just grapple combo them. But they're oftentimes they're open when they're casting a crystal. Then you can just grapple combo them and then, you know, continue to pressure them while they're on the ground. As far as the attacking aspect, there's not much for me to say regarding Druid, because Druid doesn't have many things that counter you too much. Be aggressive and attack them as much as possible. But as far as the defensive aspect, if they're at a decently far range away from you and they're trying to shoot you with a crystal, just mana shield and dash away at the same time. Or I like to do a shadow rush, because they don't normally expect that. You could easily dodge an entire crystal that they shoot at you by shadow rushing, and if they're far from you, then you can shadow rush towards them, and now you're close to them. They struggle a lot when you're really close to them and you're pressuring them up close, and they excel a little bit more when they're at a mid-range to a further range. But not too much regarding Druid. They're a little bit easier to fight because of the fact that they stay on the ground most of the time. It's just annoying when they start TPing between crystals, but you could prevent that if you keep the pressure up long enough. You know, keep hitting them with Autumn Rains, Spell Blades, anything you can to stop them from TPing to a different crystal. Alright, so for this last and final part, I really don't want to spend too much time on this because this video is already insanely long. I'm just gonna talk about the best races for Shinobi. So in my opinion, the top like 4 races for Shinobi are Denakiri, Zen, Fisher, and Madrasian, and I'll explain why. A lot of people like going certain builds like Ashen Shinobi and like hitting good macros with it, or going Navran Shinobi, hitting like a Falling Darkness combo. And I do understand that. I understand why you would want to do that. You know, the glass cannon aspect of it is pretty cool. But me personally, what I like to do is I think that Shinobi already has a very high damage output, and it has an okay damage output. I'm not too interested on buffing the damage output. I'm more interested on reducing the weaknesses on Shinobi. The thing that gets me killed the most in K is the fact that I have no HP and little survivability as far as like escaping combos, because of the fact that I don't have any ragdoll moves. The only ragdoll move I have is Spellblade Gelly, and that's something that is optional. So I want to focus more on survivability, because that's the one weakness of Shinobi as far as fighting. Like, obviously it can run. Obviously Shinobi can like run anywhere at once and get away from anything at once, but if you're talking about not running and just being in a fight and having survivability and escaping combos, then Shinobi doesn't have that many moves that can help get them out of too many combos besides Shadow Rush, but that's an ultra move. So I like to focus on things that are going to help it survive long term in a gank. And I think Denakiri fits that very well because obviously 40% defense, like come on, that's just a crazy defense buff. You saw it earlier. Here, I'll do a combo on myself just to show you guys. Mind you, I had fire on basically that entire time. I was getting hit by all of that and I'm still not knocked. Regalia is really good and I honestly highly recommend it if you're going Shinobi. The Zen was my second one. I obviously really recommend that as well because you're able to dodge a lot of things with that. They can really help you survive Uber Shinobi combos. They can help you survive Uber Spy combos. Abyss Walker becomes easier to fight now because they can't hit you with the M1s in the air anymore. I don't think, right? I don't think Abyss Walker M1s work on the Zen Awakening. But you're also able to hit ground combos more often. It also makes fighting D-Sage and Oni a little bit easier because you don't have to worry about getting one combo by the D-Sage. And the Oni, you don't have to worry about getting one combo by the Oni. So it's just a very good fallback. And it helps with the defense overall because you're able to get out of a lot of combos. You're able to iframe a lot of stuff and not get hit by a lot of stuff. You do have to activate it yourself at the right times, but you're able to activate it while knocked. That's one of the best things about it. Or sorry, not knocked, while ragdolled. You're able to activate it while ragdolled. That's one of the best things about it. And because you're able to do that, you could dodge a lot of off ragdoll combos with it. Like if a spy wants to bomb jump and then do a C or something like that, or if you got Masogi'd by an Oni and you're about to get demon flipped or something like that, then you can just pop the Zen dodges. So the Zen is really good. Fishrin is also really good for part of the same reason, just having those Fishrin dodges that make you take no damage. It just gives you something to fall back on. Like if you're fighting a Reaper, for example, say I get chased, I get pulled, and I get hit by the 3 M1s. Those 3 M1s that would have did like what 60-70% of my HP have now done 0% of my HP because I'm a Fishrin. It's really good. And you could also heal through the dodges, obviously. Same with the Zen. Like while your dodges up, you're healing too. If you have Cold Hard up and you have Mouthwatering Meat up. And then I put my 4th race as Madrasian. I think Madrasian is really good for Shinobi because of the buff. I think it's 25%. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's a 25% health buff, which is like really good. And that's like straight throughout the entire fight. You know, Regalia breaks. Regalia has 30 hits and then it's broken, and then you have to wait a minute for it to come back. But Madrasian HP is 25%. It lasts the entire fight as long as you keep switch on. So it's a really good race to go for Shinobi for that extra health and survivability. The 3 main blessings you want to get are Cold Hard, Meat Blessing, and Slash Resistance. I'd argue that the most important blessing out of all those 3 is Slash Resistance, because a lot of classes in K have slash attacks, and that slash resistance helps you take a lot less damage from all those classes. Like I'm telling you, you notice the difference. The difference is really huge. Especially if you're fighting like a Reaper or another Uber Shinobi, like you really notice the difference with those slash attacks. Or Sigil, like my goodness, it makes a big difference. So definitely have that. Definitely have Cold Art up too, because you're gonna have Snap Yelly, because every class in K has Snap Yelly. So you can just Snap Yelly and get some Cold Art up, and you're gonna need that regen because you already don't have a lot of HP, so you're gonna need that insane regen. And then I say Meat Blessing because it makes it easier for you to use Mouthwatering Meat and get the regen from Mouthwatering Meat. But you don't necessarily have to have it, but it just makes it easier in the fight, and I prefer it, honestly. And then for the 4th blessing, my personal preference would be Mana Arm, because it helps you do a lot more damage during your combo. I think it does like 10% more or something like that during your combo. And then if I didn't choose mana arm, maybe I choose mana body because of the fact that that gives you more survivability as far as fall damage. When you're falling from a high cliff and you charge mana and roll, you have a little bit more survivability. Makes you take a little bit less damage. Alright, but overall, I think that's all I have left to say for Uber Shinobi. I want to do this tutorial because a lot of people ask me about the class, ask me how to play the class, things like that. And I never delivered on the promises of helping to teach some people, and I do understand that this is a hard class to play. It's not very easy to play, and you do need to have a lot of knowledge if you want to go into K and actually survive with this. It's definitely more than just about being able to hit macros. Like, you can make a macro with this class, but you're not going to survive and be the best in K by just having a macro. You actually need to know how to use the class, how to fight other classes, etc. So I thought this Uber Shinobi tutorial would be very informative for a lot of people, help them get used to the class and at least help them get started with the class, because it's definitely not easy to learn. It's very fun to use, which is why a lot of people want to use it. They see other people go it, and it's very fun to use. It's just not easy, and it's not easy to get used to. I understand that. But I thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I really do hope you learned something from this tutorial, because it did take me quite a bit to make. My goodness, it's been so long. But thank you, hope you all enjoyed, and have a good day, everyone.